you looking for? Okay, let's go. Brother, literally just went on TikTok live. Can I find you as soon as I'm done?
Perfect.
You okay? You sound miffed.
All lekker. No, not at all.
What we doing? Did you watch that thing I sent you?
I can't believe that, huh?
Hey?
That's mad.
It's cray, my brother.
Yeah, someone's got golden balls.
Nah, I don't know if golden, like made of diamonds. They're unbreakable, brother. Yo. That guy's got
So give me a shout when you're done on the TikTok.
big balls. 100%.
Right.
Thanks, boss.
Okay.
You thought you were the lion. He's got bigger bite than you.
Careful. See, now you're playing on the other side. Why do you want to start this?
No, I'm not starting anything, brother.
Okay, good.
Lacquer.
As long as you know, there's only one line.
Yes, sir.
Sweet, brother.
Okay.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Ciao.
Shit. Welcome, everybody. Luciano Peters. How are you, my brother? You have to say Luciano with an Italian accent, and you have to make like this. Otherwise, it's not real. Shamil Ludi, can I come visit your premises tomorrow? Shamil, are you a weirdo? Because if you are, you're not allowed to come. Shamil, I've got a friend, long-term friend, who's Shamil, and he's not a weirdo. I hope you're not a weirdo too. But if you're not, you're welcome, my brother. What's happening? Came all the way from Cape Town to come visit our premises. You definitely sound like a weirdo, bro. I'm just kidding. See you tomorrow. We can have a coffee. Compliments. EMP Mala. What's up? John Pinar, you legend. You are such a legend, my brother. Thank you. Jeez, JP.
Hello, JP.
JP. We need to knight you, my brother. We need to bring you in here and we need to knight you. You are from today going forward called Sir JP. And your friends can call you Meneer. Anything else not fit for you, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Okay. Compliments as well. Everybody's ready. Let's go. Are all the lives working simultaneously?
The lives are on fire.
Are the lives living, Els?
Yes.
Cool. Good.
Ja, in die koppie weg daar.
JP Watson. Nant JP.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the last live that we do on cloned and stolen vehicles before our event on Saturday. So I just want to unpack it real quick. We had 3 of the major banks reach out over the weekend, and we've been communicating with one of their financial directors, just sharing some data into how much money those 3 banks have lost in the last year. And it is actually scary stuff, man. But nevertheless, it's a problem that we've figured out how to fix. Hopefully there's going to be some sort of a JV going forward with the banks that we can assist them as well, not finance those vehicles, because for them it is partly about the money, but mostly about reputation. A very famous South African, we can't say who he is, purchased a cloned vehicle, financed it through one of the major institutions, and when it came about that the vehicle was cloned, he's actually taking a position that he doesn't want to do any business with that specific bank anymore. And even though they offered him a lower reduced, I think prime list 2, he said to them straight, he'll pay prime plus 2 at a different institution, but not do business with him. Let me just send this to voicemail. Not do business with him going forward, because of the fact that they slipped up and they financed his vehicle that he drove, which was cloned. Now the bank had to refund him all the installments in full, obviously take back the vehicle. Couple of ways that the bank does it with the dealers. So one of the ways is, the most common way rather, is the dealership settles in full. If the dealership is not in a position to be able to write a check or do the EFT for the full settlement, there's an acknowledgement of debt, and after the acknowledgement of debt, that guy's just phoning from a no caller ID number again, which is amazing. Give me the phone. I'll just put it down. Don't worry. So either the dealership settles the full amount, or the dealership admits debt and then pay off that vehicle slowly, slowly, slowly. Is he speaking?
Yes.
What did they say?
Hello.
Hello from a private number.
Yeah. I'll just answer the whole time and put him on mute.
Or depending on the relationship that the dealer has with the bank, sometimes they go into a mutual agreement and they share the loss 50-50. But at the end of the day, the banks lose, the dealerships lose, the customer loses, the reputational damage is huge. It's just a mess, man. It's not a nice thing. But having said that, we're going to maybe just take one or two of these comments. Be interesting in buying an 18 X5M Sport, but the car is in Namibia. No, we won't buy a Namibia car, unfortunately not. Very tricky to register it here. That's the problem. It is possible. Nothing's impossible in life. But this specific one is very, very tricky to do. So sorry about that. Kevin Williams, what's happening, brother? 1655. Kevin Williams was born in 1655. That makes you an old bully, Kevin. You're a timer, my brother. Welcome to our live. F3320D, yes. Utman, we do, definitely do. But I'm going to go straight into our PDF presentation. Else can the people see it? Okay, so they can see it. This Saturday, we've got an in-person event. This is 100% dealer focused, dealer pointing, dealer facing, dealer problem resolving. Those of you that are non-dealers at the moment that have joined us, you are welcome to have a little bit of insight on some of the challenges that the dealerships face, namely the cloning and buying of stolen vehicles, how it operates the syndicate, how they maneuver, and eventually how it ends up with you guys that are non-dealers on this show. So how modern vehicle cloning operations actually work. So many of the dealerships say, yeah, but I bought the car from Johnny. Johnny did it, and Johnny was just a pawn on the chessboard. Johnny was the end result into multiple steps of corruption and fraud and theft. And then it ended up with Johnny, who sold you the car, took the money, and usually immediately paid it off to whoever was the person that sent him there. Where cloned vehicles enter the dealership, we'll unpack exactly where they enter. And where they enter has got a little bit more meat. And the meat portion of this section will be, if you reverse engineer how a roulette machine works, exactly. Any of you that have seen a roulette machine at a casino being serviced or repaired, if you pull out the front facing, that bar area where everybody sits, there's like a gazillion wires there. It's just wires on wires on wires. Now you might think, okay, this should be a plain and simple game where you throw the ball and then it spins at a certain speed and then sort of velocity decreases until there's a stop and the ball lands on the number. So why are the wires there? That's one part, probably saving grace, that I saw when I was very young. Already I'm thinking, okay, if there's so many wires at the bottom there, that means there's a hyper control, which means your chances of winning are almost 0 to none, because the house always wins, right? You sometimes get lucky, which is unlucky, then you get addicted and boom goes the house, the family, the kids, the wife, the dog, everything lost. So that's how a modern day criminal syndicate works with the clown cars. There's a lot of steps that need to happen and take place before Johnny that sold you the clown car takes your money and runs away with it. So staff behavior and process gaps criminals exploit. We'll unpack the conventional way of bringing a vehicle into stock. So from the vehicle coming to be demoed to you or shown to you, and then you go and look at the evaluation. Is the car clean? Has it been in an accident? Is there any paint work? Right up to how it slips through the cracks and you pay for the vehicle. We'll go and unpack practical safeguards to trade-ins and trade-in acquisitions. So a lot of the more sophisticated, more patient, and definitely a lot richer syndicates use this tactic where they'll bring you a relatively expensive car, traded in on a cheap car, downgrading lifestyle. I need a car for whatever. This car is just standing in my garage. We're not using it. We don't like the car. We don't like how it drives, whatever the excuse is. And then taking a legal car from the dealership, selling you the clone vehicle, getting a cash back. So trading in a 500 grand car on a 150,000 rand car, 350 cash back. They take the 150 car immediately to another dealership, which is a legal car, 100% safe. There's my invoice. Listen, I need the money fast. I've got a project, or I'm building an extra room, or whatever the case might be. And then they legitimize that transaction without actually selling you the vehicle. So they actually trade in that vehicle with you, get a legal vehicle. You go and deliver the car photos. It's a joy. It's a very nice experience for everybody until you pick up that the original vehicle was actually cloned. Okay, clear response protocols if cloning is suspected. So this one's quite interesting and tricky. And can I close this? I just want to see how many people are left. Okay, very few, which we expected because this is a dealer-facing seminar. So a couple of times in the beginning, when I've actually caught these syndicates out, I set traps. I got them to come in. We arrested a couple of guys, put them in jail. Obviously they get bail, and then the process needs to take place in the judicial system. So on one of these events, I'll call it, when we caught the guy, there was an altercation on the floor. He tried to run away, and the cops, he showed resistance to the cops, so there was a bit of violence, and the guy was arrested. That evening, when I was driving home, I received a call from a private number. Like now, this guy that's phoning me, no caller ID, but he's phoning to say hello. So I received a couple of calls from a private number, which I declined. And then about a half an hour later, I received another one from a private number. So I was like, what the hell, man? It's fine. Let me just grab this call. And this guy said to me, Mr. Bobby Petkov, I'm not going to give you my name, but today this and this happened at your dealership, and this occurred, and we don't like the way that you handled the situation. You set us up. So I said, exactly. And the guy was caught and he's going to jail. Very professional, calm voice on the other side. He said, that's true, but he'll be out tomorrow and he'll be roaming around in the streets, and you still work where you work. So I said, that's a valid point. So how do we move forward? So the guy said to me, look, I understand why you did what you did, but my advice to you is don't do that again, because there will be consequences. I said, clear, loud and clear. Thank you. Have a nice evening. So that immediately said to me, all right, this is a syndicate. These guys are criminals. They steal cars, they hijack cars, they point people with guns. Do I really want to get involved in this sort of day-to-day? The answer is no. So I said, okay, cool. When we catch them, what is the protocol that we use so that it safeguards and keeps everybody in a position where there's no violence? So we're going to share that with the dealer network that comes. To ensure confidentiality and effectiveness, we've invited only 15 dealerships that will be accepted for this phase, and there's a couple of spots left. But the reason why we did it this way, and a lot of people especially on Facebook, I think all the keyboard warriors moved away from TikTok onto Facebook. They're constantly saying this should be a free event. You should go live and show everybody that's interested or is ever going to buy or sell a vehicle exactly how this works.
Sorry, someone is asking how to book a spot.
How to book a spot, just send me a WhatsApp, 082-542-6659. Directly after this presentation, we'll be able to send you a link and you can book your spot there. But carrying on, so why we vet the dealerships that come to us is simply because we need to stay 3 or 4 steps ahead of the syndicate. If we make this exactly how we do it, our 5-step process, if we make this public and available to everybody to see, that is a win, right? And I agree with that, and I'm 100% behind what that gent said when he called me out. challenge with that is the criminal syndicates will also watch it, and they'll say, okay, so that's how we're being caught. This is how we're not catching dealers anymore that have done the training, and then obviously evolve. And the moment they evolve, we stand risk to be caught in a new way. So the 15 dealers, or however many dealers we get at the event, will know exactly how to do it and keep those cards very close to their chest. That way we can vet them. Are you an actual dealership? Do you own a brick and mortar building that has cars underneath it and you buy and sell cars? And then we'll go and do some background checks to make sure that they are legitimate, they've got a website, they are a registered dealership, and then proceed to train them. So that's the reason why we've got very limited spots. The investment is 15,000 Rand per dealership. Just quick maths. The last vehicle that we bought before we figured out the system cost us 120,000 Rand to purchase, and I threw 275,000 Rand at legal fees to prosecute this person and find him guilty, and it took about 18 months. So 15,000 Rand investment just avoids a lot of lost time, stress, reputational damage. Luckily, that specific car that we bought, we figured out it was cloned the same day, so the vehicle wasn't yet sold to a consumer, so there was minimal reputational damage. But the couple that we did before the time, we actually sold and then had to settle banks, apologize to consumers that bought the vehicles. It was a mess. It wasn't good. What's up, Al?
Do you have to have a registered dealership?
So if you're a trader, still reach out. I've got a couple of questions to ask you, and we'll decide from there. Thanks, Elsa. So one prevented incident more than justifies 20 times the cost. We've established that. Okay, so the dealerships that are watching, or the traders that are watching, if you're ready, shoot me a WhatsApp. We'll go and process all the inquiries after this live and make sure that we sign you guys and girls up to make sure that you don't get caught. Okay, but there is more. I've got 6 pages of this. Why you as a dealer can't afford to sit this one out. One cloned vehicle can cost you millions. So 2 cases that I'm personally involved in. One of the vehicles that was found, you can say stolen, and then sold to a dealership, then sold to a customer, then financed with MFC, and now the dealership needs to settle. Who's that?
Maximum security.
Okay, they're probably just finding about who's locking. That's fine. I'll handle this one from here now. So if you allow one of these cars to slip through, it's one too many. Whether it's 120,000 Rand car or a 1 million Rand car. The gentleman that currently has to settle MFC for 1 million Rand is a dealership that has been around for 30 years. So 10 years longer than we've been doing this. In the Western Cape, big respected, powerful dealer. But even that dealership is going to work for a very long time just to recover that $1 million, because that $1 million Rand is just on the bottom of the financials as a total loss. It is a complete loss. There's literally zero he can do about it. He can't not pay the bank off because he'll lose his dealer code. And the thing with banks is very simple. All the, I'll say, from person number 5 to person number 1 are all friends. They're all friendly with each other, and they're always communicating. So what's happening in the industry, the moment someone repudiates that and don't want to pay and settle the vehicle, MFC will call the other banks, and then the other banks will also pull their dealer codes immediately, which means that dealership will literally close down. And why they'll do that is because they'll see the dealer is not reputable. He's in direct breach of the SLA, the service level agreement that that specific dealership has signed with the banks. So if you'll do it to them, you'll do it to us. We're not interested. Goodbye. Very, very nasty. Loss of the full purchase price of the vehicle, repossession by the of the car by the SAPS if proven stolen, refund to the client, legal costs, possible civil claims from the buyer. Possible civil claims works this way. One of the Yaris's that was taken away from the customer, It was the girl's first car that she ever bought. Her dad bought her the vehicle, and it was a big thing, man. I love first-time car buyers. I always wish them to buy Bugattis and Lambos and Rolls Royces after their first car they buy from me, but that first car will always be special to them. So I go the extra mile when it's a first-time car buyer. Like a couple of minutes ago, a gentleman bought a R1,000,000 Mustang from us, and as excited as he was, I asked him if it's his first car. I said, "No, I've bought lots of cars." As excited as he was, I know in his heart, it's his dream car. It's the dream spec. We had a CS California Special Edition. It's like a kick-ass car, man. It looks like a Hot Wheels car. And chatting to him, I know in his eyes, he's so proud that he finally got his dream car. It wasn't as exciting as it was when he bought his first vehicle. I understand that. I deal with it every single day, and it's a logical case that I can make to you. But that specific Yaris incident, young girl on her way to university in the morning gets pulled over in a roadblock. The car is deemed cloned, and for the next couple of minutes, she literally gets treated like a criminal, like a car thief. So eventually phones dad phones me, I phone her, and I ask her, "Please, may I speak to the traffic officer that's going to arrest you now?" She says yes, and crying tears, hysterical. Said, "Okay, sir, here's what happened. The lady is not responsible for this crime. This is who I am. I'm the owner of this dealership. She bought it from me. I'm going to send her a PDF version of her contract on her phone so that you can see that. I know the location. Do not arrest this girl. She's not a criminal. I'm coming there. If anybody should be arrested, it should be me, because I sold her the car and she's in possession of a stolen vehicle. I agree with you. I don't disagree. But she didn't steal the vehicle and she bought it from me legally. There's the contract. I'm coming over there, and if there's an arrest to be made, purely me. It has to be me. It can't be her. She's innocent in all this." Very nice cop. He said to me, "Bobs, I can hear what you're saying. I understand what you mean, but we can't let her go anywhere. You need to come here now." Perfect. Printed the contract, drove to the scene, presented my documentation. I had the purchase agreement where I bought the vehicle as well to see, okay, this is who I paid. There's the matching VIN number. This is the copy of the registration document when I bought it from this person. There's the ID. This is my dealer stock. This is the copy of the papers when I sold it to this girl's father. It's her first car. This is when they purchased the vehicle. At that stage, it was an ABSA contract. Everything is here. Should you feel that you need to make an arrest, no problem. Take me willingly, no problem. We'll figure this out. So anyway, very cool cop. He said, "Bobs, you're going to have to drive with us to the impound. They're going to impound the car. We'll take a statement. We're not going to arrest you. We'll take a statement, and then you'll have a piece of paper that says this vehicle that you sold is in fact a stolen car, and then you'll take it up with the lawyers how you're going to retrieve the money back from the original car." Sweet, no problem. Got the girl back to the dealership, met her father later on, had to explain the same thing 100 times to him, show him all the paperwork. This is who we bought it from. This is the ID. This is our dealer stock. This is your contract. And this is where we are now. It is a cloned vehicle. Here's the proof. So at that stage, I think that was car number 13. It was the second last cloned vehicle that I bought. But funny enough, I bought 3 Yaris's from the same gentleman, and all 3 ended up being cloned. So the following day, I reached out to the other 2 people, said, "Listen, this is what happened. I suspect that that vehicle is as well cloned as well as that one. I need you to bring the vehicles in. I'm phoning you. So this is a shock. I'm sorry, but I need you to bring the vehicles in so that you don't wind up in a roadblock and get treated like a criminal and arrested in front of your family and all this other stuff. Bring it in. I'll take it for clearance. And if the vehicle is deemed stolen or cloned, then I'll give you a full refund. Not a problem." Very nice people came in, took the cars into Pretoria West, and it is what it is. The rest is history. They took those vehicles and they impounded them, and I had to refund all of those 3 customers, and I bought those cars from one guy. Now, typically you'll think that something like this happens and by no means am I judging anybody from up Africa, middle Africa, nothing. It happened to me. I'm going to describe the profile of the person that caught me with those 3 cars, and you can take that for yourself. So middle-aged, white male, very well dressed, very well presented, had his little daughter. She was a cute little girl, about this high, blonde girl with blue eyes, that was saying, Oom, kan ek die kar sien? Kan ek die kar sien? So the girl was like excited about the cars. I said, sure, no problem. We went around the floor. We spent some time here doing the paperwork on all three vehicles. He presented them as company vehicles that he no longer needs. His company has bought a new fleet of new shape Yaris's, and that's why he's selling them. All legit, 100%. I still asked him, I said, sir, is it cool if I buy your daughter an ice cream? So where the studio is across the road from us is a nice big BP that used to sell Friday Pie Day. I was their best customer. I took the girl there, bought her a roller. I remember I bought her a roller ice cream, and then we came back, did the paperwork, and I paid for all three vehicles. So that's the profile of the person that caught me with those three cars. The last car that I bought that was cloned, I personally bought it from a active advocate in the chambers at Brooklyn. So this is a man of law. He understands the law. He's an advocate, and he's a defense attorney. So he defends good guys, bad guys, whoever is his customer, he's defending them. Not saying that all of them defend bad guys, but some of them do. And he took that car as part payment for a case that he did for a guy that is involved in a syndicate. Okay, I then paid him, and the rest, like I said earlier, is history. 270,000 rand to prove that he sold me a cloned stolen vehicle. Now my ego got in the way there. What I should have done is just take the loss of 120, carry on with life. But I wanted to prove a point, and I literally wanted to debar him from the legal roster. That was my mission. I said, it doesn't matter how much it cost me. You caught me, you knew, I will debar you. You will never practice law ever again in your life because of what you did to me. At the end of the day, he's still practicing law, and he's still a top G, and I'm $500,000 rand down. So it's a very ugly thing that happens here. All right. Investigations from insurers, banks, or regulators for high-value vehicles, BMWs, Mercs, Land Rovers, etc. The financial exposure can easily reach 7 figures when all costs are added up. The gentleman in the Western Cape, 7 figures, $1 million he has to settle and pay back the customer's deposit, which is nasty, 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 and ugly, unfortunately for him. Okay, destroys your reputation. In practice, dealerships that get linked to clone or stolen vehicles can suffer bad reviews. Hello Peter, Google, loss of trust from banks and insurance. How do you lose trust with the banks? So, whenever I train salespeople and we have the one-on-ones, I do it in the following manner. When you are speaking to F&Is, finance and insurance teams, okay, you are their customer. Okay, so what does that mean? Thanks. Whenever you're speaking to your F&I regarding the deal, the F&I generates income from your input. So you go out, find the customer, present, demo, answer questions, handle objections, get the application form in and send it in. F&Is need to treat you like your customer. They need to over-deliver on speed, on service, on clarity, on presentation, on everything. So you are their customer. In this instance, we are the bank's customers, okay, as well as the customer. So the customer is our customer, and we are the bank's customer, which means we need to show up for them. Make sure that we do all the background checks. Make sure that everybody is on the same page. Make sure that each and every vehicle has gone a process which meets the SLA agreement. Now, the moment a car slips through, the bank sees you as weak. So very few people know that, but the banks categorize you. You've got a silver star, you've got a gold star, you've got a platinum status, you've got a diamond status. Now, the higher up you go, the more trust and the more reputation is built with a certain bank. For example, we've got everything okay, Els? People messaging.
Yeah, just replying on some comments.
On some comments, okay, sweet. So, for example, our reputation with Westbank is to the point where we have a Westbank appointed employee. Okay, she's been with us for 10 years, going on 10 years now. She's amazing. She was on a 2-week holiday, and I can say, hand on heart, even though the support team at the head office at the hub is amazing, we felt the fact that she wasn't here. So our reputation is so good, they will put someone from the bank on our floor to help us. So we will get served in a much better way by somebody being permanently employed with us than we would by somebody not being permanently. But now there's again an SLA, certain percentage of the business must go to them. They have first right of refusals, and this is not a secret. Absa knows that Westbank has first bite of the cherry. The only way that they beat them is just give us a better rate. If you can beat Westbank's rate, it's your customer. But if you can't, and you match the same rate, then it's Westbank's customer. The only way you take business from us as Absa, for example, is if you beat the deal that Westbank has put on the table, and it puts the customer in a more favorable position. Boom, that's it. Now, if a cloned vehicle slips through, let's say, for example, Westbank finances the vehicle, it gets caught out, immediately that diamond status that we hold very dear to our heart with the bank is jeopardized. Okay, this is the way they process it in 30 seconds. This is a weak dealer. He was caught out this way. How many more vehicles on our books are also cloned or stolen vehicles? How many more will he then go and put on our books? This is a dealer that is not diamond status trustworthy. We need to watch this dealer. More checks go into place. Your validations take sometimes days. Your approvals will take longer. Everything from there spirals down. That's how you lose reputation with the bank. Okay. Reduce trading credibility. Word of mouth damages the industry. In the motor trade, reputation is everything, and one major cloning case can follow a dealer for years. I mean, today, if anything explodes on social media, it goes super viral super quickly, like very quickly. A couple of hours ago, something was posted around a big group, and I saw it, it was minutes after it was posted, and it already had, like literally minutes, like a couple of 100,000 views across all the platforms. And that's not good for that dealership. Now, there's lots of other information that was not presented on the video, but as it stands, the image painted on social media is a very dark one, and a nasty and an ugly one, where people are already like riling up each other that will never buy from this group. We want nothing to do with this group. Let's vote with our hard-earned money, and boom, something like that catches fire. It will explode even more, because after hours people have more time to be on their phones, and this thing will just spiral out of control for the dealership. Okay, the dealership is going to lose control of their credibility and their reputation. Okay, number 3, it could shut your dealership down. In extreme cases, this is not an automatic, but it can happen if the dealership is small. For example, lots of dealers operate on consignment stock, which means they don't have enough funding to buy all the vehicles that are on their floor themselves. So they'll attract investors. I know lots of guys that do that. Like, the industry is absolutely filled with them. In fact, I sold a very, very cool car on Saturday to a very cool young man, probably watching this today, but he's an active investor in one of the dealerships. And it's a well-known dealership. And he's given a couple of million rand to them, and they operate with his money. It's his money. They have to pay him an interest every single month, X amount %. Whether they sold the cars or didn't sell the cars, they can literally say nothing. They have to pay him the interest because they've got use of the money. Now, let's say, for example, he's got 3 million in the dealership. They took a risk, a gamble on a 500 grand car. It's cloned. Already 500,000 rand is lost. It's not lost for him, it's lost for the dealership. But now they don't have the money to pay him. So what does he do? Immediately there's a fight, there's an engagement. He pulls the other 2.5 million out, or he just goes and fetches cars to the value of the 2.5 million rand. That dealership all of a sudden went from having 60 cars to having 16 cars. The dealership will close down. Most dealers don't have reserves to cover losses. So what does that mean? Dealerships don't typically say, okay, at least the good ones, don't say we have 5 million rands worth of stock. If we make 300,000 rand this month, we'll take it out the business and keep it as a safety net. What a good aggressive dealer does is we have 5 million rand in stock, we made 300,000 rand net operating profit for the month of January. February 1st, we have 5.3 million rands worth of stock. It's reinvested, another car is bought, let's go. That's how successful, growing, vibrant, active dealerships, including us, operate. Every cent gets back into the business, salaries are paid, donations, whatever needs to be made, and then the balance just gets back into the business so that we can grow the volume. So dealers can't handle that. That's why the banker that I spoke to will typically give a dealer like a week. So within a week, you need to raise the $1 million and you need to settle this account. The vehicle's already at SAPS. We serve you notice. It's a formal email. It's a telephone conversation. Did you receive it? Yes, we did. Right. You've got until the 26th to pay this in full, or else we will remove our dealer code. Now, for an average dealer to go and raise $1 million in a week is going to be very close to impossible. Some guys will go and bond their house, or take an extra bond or a flexi bond just to be able to cover that and continue trading, and hopefully in a couple of months they'll make up the money, or a couple of years, however long it takes them. When multiple cloned vehicles are involved, is typically if one slips through, and that's the danger with that gent that caught me with the 3 cars. Okay, if one slips through, it's like blood in the water. The syndicates, the sharks, can smell the weakness and they will target your dealership. And here's how they do it. They'll target you with Johnny, and then they'll target you with Sarah, and then they'll target you with someone else, all working within the same framework and same organization. So Johnny will sell you a Yaris, Sarah will sell you a Fortuner, and Peter will sell you a Hilux Bakkie. Okay, one syndicate. And this will happen in quick successions. Is that a right word?
Dit mag wees.
Okay, so let's pretend that's the
Okay.
right word, but it will happen very quickly. So they'll sequence it within a couple of days from each other. You will never know that Johnny, Sarah, and Peter all work for Elsie. She's the kingpin. She send them there, and you literally can get wiped out very quickly. Banks will blacklist the dealer. Happened about a year and a half ago. Very nice gentleman in Gazina. Very nice. Been in the industry for about 30 years. Fraud occurred on multiple occasions. I got a call from Westbank, and I was asked about the dealer. Do you know him? Yes, sure. What do you think of the dealer? I said, always been a gent with me. I've met him at events. I met him at your freaking event. Yes, he was there. Now, we had a cool drink. We had a nice chat. It never did me any harm. Polite old man, very cool. No issues, no drama, no stress. Well, this and this happened. I've got no comment. I don't know how it slipped through, but I'm sorry to hear that it happened. Eventually what happens is the one bank removes the dealer code, and within a couple of hours all the banks remove their dealer codes. He cannot function. He actually had to sell his property. He couldn't sell the business because the business is worth nothing, having no dealer code. So 30-year-old business, very successful at a stage. He had to sell the property, had to sell the remainder of the stock to cover debt, floor plan, whatever it was. And now that gentleman trades cars, sending me photos of cars like a trader. Hey, Bobs, I can get this car here. Can you give me $5,000 if I move the car from there to here? And I'll always be respectful, and I'll always try my best to assist him. But that also stopped, because that's a very tough game to play, especially with today's environment, which is you've got all these massive buying warehouses and lots of power and lots of funding behind it. The smaller guys tend to not make it, unfortunately. Okay, 24th Jan, 2 p.m. This session covers. Here's the points. Let me just bring it up a little bit. How modern vehicle cloning operations actually work, where cloned vehicles enter the dealership, staff behavior and process gaps criminals exploit, practical safeguards for trade-ins and acquisition of vehicles. So the biggest thing here is with the, especially with the used cars and the independent dealerships, so both franchises and used cars. If you buy from a third party, so let's say for example you buy from We Buy Cars, because they're the biggest, we'll use them. Does the dealership have a safety net in terms of paperwork from them? And the answer is 100% yes. 100% yes. We've bought countless cars from them that ended up being cloned. Okay, here's the gentlemanly thing that they do. Immediately reverse the invoice, pay back the money, or just provide us with a credit. So the last car that they took was a Ford Ranger, actually on this floor as well, before we built the floor where I sit now with Tier 1. Saturday afternoon, a bunch of cop cars pull up. Luckily it was late afternoon. Gent climbs out. He says, this vehicle on the ramp, remove it, it's a stolen car. I said, no, it's not. He says, yes, it's a stolen vehicle. You need to remove the Ranger off the ramp and we're going to take the vehicle. I said, where? Well, we'll take it to Pretoria West to the impound. I said, okay, hang on. Here's why I say it's not stolen a cloud. I said, I know you're going to provide me with an invoice from this dealership. We understand. You can take it up with them. I said, but I've done recon on this car. I've put big, how's your auntie doing mags and tires on this thing? You can go to Middelburg without having a passport. Like all these things cost over 30 grand. He says, I'm taking the car. Remove the car off the ramp, please. So that's when I knew this guy's serious. There's no negotiation process that's going to take place. Yes, sir. I will comply 100%. Took the keys. The car also had spare keys. So it was very well cloned. And gave it to him. He gave me a piece of paper, followed him to Pretoria West. We booked in the vehicle. Monday morning I contacted the person we worked with there, provided all the information, everything that they needed to refund me, and they simply gave me credit. Okay, now here's the problem. When dealerships buy from a wholesaler like that, your profit margins are tiny, because the wholesaler needs to buy the vehicle, they need to put their markup on, then sells it to the dealership. They need to go and fix whatever needs to be fixed, tires, service, clutch, whatever needs to be fixed, because the wholesalers don't do any reconditioning. Here's the car, test drive it, you're an expert. If you like it, this is my price. No haggling. There's the invoice. Have a nice life. Bye-bye. So what we ended up doing is saying, okay, we need to create a buyer team that is national, that can compete. Obviously not at their level, because we've got certain criteria that we look for. So we look for newish, low mileage vehicles that are accident free, that are clean, and we can spend minimal recon on, you know, cosmetically we know how to do them perfectly. Rims, tires, diamond cut wheels, service. We've got a beautiful depot that handles all the maintenance of the vehicle, so we can sell you a brand new second-hand car. That way, the money we would have paid for their profit can go into reconditioning the car, and then still retain a little bit higher percentage. So it will go from 5% to 8%, sometimes even 10% profit on a used vehicle. So that's where the action is. Going out and buying from private individuals, but that carries the risk. So the Ford Ranger that they took, one phone call, and I had my 300 and whatever thousand rand back in credit on the website, on our account, no problem. Safety net. But if you buy it from a private individual, like the acting advocate, it's lawyers, it's headaches, and all this other stuff. So as a dealer, you need to be prepared to face that risk in an educated manner, which means you need to understand how this works, and you need to counter for it. So you need to expect it, anticipate it, and prevent it before it ever enters your dealership. Okay, again, I'm going to dive into the clear response protocols if cloning is suspected. So for those of you that joined us now recently, you didn't hear me speak about this in the past or in the beginning of the live. I'm going to give you what that means. A couple of years ago, I figured out that this is a cloned vehicle. So this is probably about 4 years ago. Young males, the brains develop like chimps. So we develop our frontal processing, manage the ego later on in life. So 4 years ago, I'm a lot younger. The ego is bigger than Gauteng, and I make it my life's mission. I found this dude. I said, you're an acting advocate, okay? You will lose. I will debar you from ever practicing law because you knew about this. He says, well, that's what you say. We'll see what ends up happening. Thank you for the call, and I appreciate your input. That's how the guy answers me. I'm like, you mother buffer. If I'm like literally want to strangle him over the phone, but he's a seasoned fighter. So anyway, I lose a bunch of money on lawyers and the car. Long story short, very angry after that at myself for not catching this, and I make it my life's mission. I'm going to catch and lock up every single clone vehicle that we pick up on the road. So we set this scene up. We set up a guy, we get him arrested, and I told the story in the beginning of the line. And that evening on my way home, I received a hidden no caller ID phone call. So I just pushed dead 3 times back to back. I just pushed dead. And as I'm driving, it's about a 25-minute drive home. Just before I get home, I get another one. I'm like, who's this fucking guy? Bobby, hello. Good evening, Mr. Bobby Petkoff. I'm not going to tell you my name, but I'll tell you why I found you. I said, sure. So there was an incident today where one of our team members was arrested, and there was a violent altercation. I said yes, because this mother buffer tried to run away from the cops and he was resisting arrest. So things happened. What do you want me to tell you? He says, well, the way that we see it, it was set up, and he came in there like a lamb to the slaughter. I said, exactly. I set it up. He says, I understand what you're saying. And just remember, tomorrow, after tomorrow, the guy will come out on bail, and then you'll be roaming the streets, and you still work at Mitmac Motors. So then I understood what he's telling me. I said, makes sense. So how do we move forward? He says, don't do that again, because it's going to be the last time. And click, he hangs up the phone. So now I'm driving home. I'm thinking, okay, Rambo, Bobby, you want to get in front of these people that point people with guns, hijack cars. These are violent people. You want to go and play Robocop and set them up and arrest one there and arrest one in Joburg South and tip the police off. They're coming this and this time here and lock them up here on the floor and cause a scene. And in your mind, you're setting an example to say that syndicates needs to know, don't F around here because you'll get arrested. Because that's how my brain processes this. But in reality, every time I do that, I put myself and all of our staff, all of our colleagues at risk, because some other shit could go down. Who knows? Okay, cool. So immediately we write a protocol safeguarding us from ever having contact with these people. And this is what I'll share with you guys as well. If I tell you, it doesn't happen as much to us anymore, but 1 in 2 weeks is a cloned car that we have to price. So it will come through a legitimate source, either a Google ad that we've placed out there if you're looking to sell your vehicle, a meta ad, or one of our videos. Those videos always go viral. This is where we should have a lot of stock. We don't have stock. If you have cars that you want to sell, please help us fill up this warehouse. We are desperate for cars. And then I know, right, get ready, let's go. And then the WhatsApps become from 2,500 to 5,000, and then we're pricing cars all the time, but we're not skipping the steps that we take to make sure that we don't send out our buyer to one of these vehicles. So the moment we pick it up, there's a standard operating process or procedure by our team. This is what we say to the customer. This is how we blacklist them from our system. This is how we make sure that this number ever enters again. Not that it won't, because most of these guys understand how not to RICO a phone and have a phone, next SIM card, in, out. Most of these oaks are still clever in that way to walk around with unRICOed phones. But at least we never ever have a confrontation with them. There's no word exchange. It's always done by a soft person in a very calm tone. Sir, ma'am, your vehicle's paperwork does not reach minimum requirement for us to purchase it. There are some irregularities that ring bells in our process and our checks. Therefore, we will no longer be engaging with you, and we will not be pricing your vehicle or buying it at all. We're not interested in viewing it. Please do not call us again. Goodbye. Click. When you do it that way, the person on the other side says, okay, they're on to us, on to the next one. Not that we are stopping the crime. The only thing that we're doing is we are preventing the crime from entering our dealership. Because the moment we set them up, there's an altercation, the cops, on the ground, handcuffs, boot on your face, blood, all that shit creates anger, and it makes you a target as a dealership. So I stopped doing that, luckily, about 4 years ago. And simple conversation, simple text, simple read that the call center agent just presents. Boom, thank you so much. And the best part is, I'll go and listen to those calls. There's never, but what's wrong? What did you figure out? Because if it's a real car, right? If somebody brings you a real car and I tell you that it doesn't meet minimum, you're going to fight. You say, what are you talking about? I bought it from this person. I have a freaking invoice. What minimum parts? What's wrong? What's wrong with my car? I'm coming there now. That's the innocent guy. He wants to defend his position, to say that there's literally nothing wrong with my car. Don't give me bullshit paperwork. If my car is not nice, that's fine. But don't give me bullshit paperwork's not right. Those guys are always very kind. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We were about to buy, I'm going to go off topic slightly, but we were about to buy a Golf R from a gentleman on Friday. So we saw the car on Thursday. We had a look at the vehicle quickly. And Friday we were going to do the full inspection, the entire process from start to finish and pay. And one of our salespeople, Eddie, one of our best salespeople ever, had a whiff about the car. He says, we're getting a Golf R for under 500k. I said, yes, but Ed, give me the photos, give me the spec sheet of the car. I've already sold this vehicle. We're going to sell this car today. So no problem, 100%. Here's the buyer's photos on the guy's lawn, whatever. Send him the details. The customer on the other side says, boom, that's my car. I am in, boy. App is in, approved, validated. We're just waiting to pay for the car and then deliver to the next person after our recon process. Red light goes off. George comes to me, says, Uncle B, Mr. B, Eds, we're not buying this freaking car. So why are we not buying the car, George? It's already sold. No, the kilos are tampered with. Here's what I picked up. We can't buy this vehicle. I said, right, don't. George has got a thing whenever there's a tough conversation, he's sort of like me. He walks around on the floor, on his phone, and like being very kind and gentle. I said, George, you don't make the fucking call on the floor. You make it in front of me. You make it on speaker. I want to hear what you say to this customer, and I want to hear his response. So, sir, unfortunately, we are not proceeding with this transaction because we can prove that you have tampered with the mileage. The mileage should be this, and this is what you presented it. Okay, so you have turned back the kilometers of the vehicle, sir. He says, oh, thank you for raising this issue. We really appreciate you coming to view the vehicle. I hope you have a fantastic day, and he hangs up the phone. So then we both look at each other. A person that didn't know that was done would be fighting, furious, swearing, I bought this car from, because we told him we bought it from this person, the mileage was such, and now the mileage is such. There was no name entry change on eNatus, so it didn't go from that person to Frikkie Diesel and then to you, and Frikkie Diesel did it. You freaking did it. It was you. You pulled back the mileage. No fighting, nothing. I appreciate you for bringing this to my attention. Thank you very much. Thank you to the buyer that came out to view. Have a beautiful day. Click. Hangs up the phone. Guilty as charged. And that's exactly the conversations that we have when it comes to, we identify before the buyer goes out, resources, fuel, drivers, phone calls, WhatsApps, banking fees, all that other shit. We simply give you the protocol. This is why. Have a nice day. Blacklist that number. Make sure that number may never enter into our ecosystem again. Not that they don't, because they do, just with a different number. But at least they know that we are smart. There was no violent altercation ever that took place. There's no vindictive need. There's no need for them to come and harm us because we just pointed out the obvious. In fact, that is more feared and respected than the actual violence that took place when the cops locked up that guy and I got the call. So again, as I said in the beginning, to ensure confidentiality and effectiveness, only 15 dealerships will be accepted into this phase of the program. Only 15 dealers will come in. We'll vet the dealers, we'll vet the traders, and we'll make sure that we're giving the information to people that are going to use it for good. The investment is 15,000 Rand per dealership. One prevented incident more than justifies 20 times the cost. So if you're ready to pull the trigger on this beautiful course that we've designed, the masterclass agenda will be the following. Saturday, 24th of Jan, 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. It's a 3-hour course. The steps are going to be 30 minutes. The other 2.5 hours are going to be spent doing case studies. Okay, my own case studies. Here's what happened. Here's what we should have done. Here's what happened. Here's what we should have done. And then I'll throw in a blank one. Here's what happened. And now that you have the steps, I trained 44 dealers last year on this. Okay. The moment I present them the third case, who here will buy this car? Okay, raise your hand, not a single hand. And I'll just randomly pick. Why wouldn't you buy your car? Joseph, why wouldn't you buy this car? Well, because of this, and this. It will clearly not pass step 3. This is a cloned vehicle. I don't need to waste my time, resources, energy. Okay, good. Okay, any questions around this? Who will actually get caught with this? No one in the room. Okay, next case. So 2.5 hour conversation will give you real life experience that I've gone through personally and some of the banks have gone through personally, so that you've got a 360 view of every scenario. If you miss a step, you will burn. If you don't miss a step, you won't burn. It's as simple as that. So 2 to 10 past 2 gets arrived, sign in, meet and greet with fellow dealers. I'll welcome everybody. Light snacks and refreshments are going to be available. 10 past to half past, opening an industry reality check, objectives of the masterclass, the clone and stolen vehicle crisis in South Africa. I'll give you horrific data. One of the bankers that was speaking to me yesterday just did a chat GPT on the entire industry, because he obviously sees only the 3 banks that he looks after. He's a financial director. So he said, Uncle B, is this real? So I sent him the material that we've prepared in terms of this exact point on the agenda. I said, no, you've got low figures. These are actual figures. So he said, are you serious? I said, this is the actual figures. Lost by, not only by the dealership, by the banks, by the insurance companies, by the dealers, and the private individuals. These are the figures. Then we'll go into why dealerships carry the greatest financial risk and legal risk, undertaking the risk landscape, how cloned vehicles and stolen vehicles enter the retail and trade market, common red flags and weaknesses in dealership processes, financial reputation and legal consequences. I'll go deep into that. And then the real cases. So from 5 past 3 to half past 3, the key indicators to assess before purchasing or accepting trade-ins, VINs, documentation, licensing and system discrepancies, what can appear legitimate but should raise a concern. So a lot of the dealers pull a e-Natus system check. They've got their ways that they do it. Legally, only 3 dealers can do it. Ourselves, WeBuyCars and Wheelie. We are directly connected to e-Natus, but guys pull them. The challenge with that is it just proves that it's on that person's name unless you know how to read it correctly. So historically, you need to paint the picture, and it tells the story if you understand how the syndicate works. So if you understand what the syndicate does, that is helpful. If you don't, not helpful at all. Half past 3 to 10 past 4, dealership protection blueprint. So the critical controls and systems that you should have in place. Safe trade and acquisition process. I'll give you the steps. And then 4, 4 to 4:30, real world lessons and risk avoidance, and 4:30 to 5, a live Q&A with me. So on our first masterclass that we did last year, the first 22 dealers that we trained, that was, by the way, a 50,000 Rand course. So we did 44 dealers at that price, but one of the modules was this exact thing. Looking around the room, out of the first class of 22 dealers, only 2 dealers had never bought a stolen and cloned car. I said, this is magical. Like, we all wish you were in your shoes and you haven't lost money and gone through that stress and that headache. But this is magical. You will never be caught again because of these processes. So what do you do currently? Exactly as everybody else. This is what we do: first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Do you understand now that you've undergone this training that a cloned vehicle could and will enter your dealership unless you safeguard yourselves here? Uncle B, thank you so much. The one dealer had 3 months prior to the masterclass purchased a a Legend 50, not a BT50, a Legend 50 Hilux, to the value of 750,000 Rand. The cops took it. And then a Polo Vivo that was just under 250. It was a fairly new car, like a couple of months old car that was cloned. The cops took that one as well. So 50k investment, amongst the marketing stuff and all the other stuff we processed. 50k investment prevents this 1 million Rand loss to never ever occur in his dealership again, ever, as long as he follows the rules. And yeah, that will be the last 30 minutes. Practical scenario-based discussions, key takeaways and next steps. So that will be the day, 2 o'clock until 5 o'clock, including a Q&A, but lots of real-world examples. And the magic is in the storytelling, because when you have a aha moment, okay, this is how they do it. This is how they do it. That's how I train the trainer, and then you can inject that knowledge into your dealerships and into your buying team, including your stock controller. And that's the key, because that's the last safety check before the popo hits the fan. So the stock controller is your safety net just before the popo hits the fan, and then it's a mess. So how does she or he catch it on top? That is it. With like 28 minutes to go, we're going to grab a couple of questions. Sure. Is there any good ones?
There is one
that are related to this topic?
Sure. Can natives be manipulated?
Yes, natives are manipulated all the time. All the time. Natives are manipulated all the time. Every day it happens. One of the latest things that we'll be discussing there is a finance vehicle. There is a way, and I'll go deep dive into it. The finance vehicle will remain, the original natives will remain with the bank. The syndicates will pull a duplicate at Inatus. Things happen on that historical check. Then they'll steal a vehicle that is very similar to that one. Let's say, for example, silver Ford Ranger. I'm using that as an example because that's one of the incidents that happened to us. Silver Ford Ranger 21-22 model, XR Auto double cab. They'll steal one. They'll legitimize it with that car's VIN information. They'll sell the vehicle, and when the original owner of the original car trades in the vehicle with us and we settle the bank, when we pull that NATIS, it's not the latest NATIS document. There's been a duplicate issued, and that duplicate has changed a couple of times, names and owners. And now there's another car that runs around identical to this one. Same number plate, same license disc, same body number, same. That car was sold to a dealership, that was sold to a private individual, but we're sitting with the original car, but not the latest document. Okay, what a big F-up. What a mess. Okay, very easy for us to fix because we had the original car. Difficult uphill climb for the dealership that was caught with a cloned vehicle, and it's not their vehicle. They're going to lose 350,000 Rand. We lose a little bit of time to go and clear the car, Pretoria West, rip it apart, make sure that all the VIN numbers are actually belonging to that original car. So we lost 2-3 days at the impound. That dealer lost 350,000 Rand. So natives not only can, are manipulated every day in the most creative ways. These guys and girls are tech enabled, extremely smart. Most of them have degrees and they understand the law. Most of them are lawyers or ex-lawyers.
Mo Cape Town is asking, do I qualify? I sell about 8 cars a month.
Well, if you sell 1 car a month, you qualify. So if you want to protect yourself from this, at that stage of the game where you are, I think you are the most qualified person, because you can literally not afford to lose 1 car because you've got 7 left. The guy that's got 60 can afford to lose 1 car because he's got 59 left. You can't even lose 1 car because your 8 go to 7, and if the syndicates get a whiff of you and you're not street smart, they'll immediately take those 8 to 3 very quickly. They set you up properly, boy. If you think about it, you know, you playing swimming, they're playing chess. They already sequence their moves a week before they make them. Johnny will come, then Sarah will come. Johnny and Sarah are not the same people. They might be of different ethnic background, different areas that they come from, different religion that they come from, different age group. Sarah will pull up there with her kids and you'll help take out the pram, and meantime at the back of the ranch the syndicate just nailed you on a 400 grand car. That's how sophisticated they are. So you, my man, need it more than anyone else on this life.
Joe is asking, what system do you use to track profit?
What system do we use to track profit? We've got 2 systems. We've got Pastel, and we also have VMG, because VMG is split into 2. So we've got VMG Workshop, and then we've got VMG that tracks first and second gross, but they all consolidate into Pastel.
Cool. And then there's a few questions on your WhatsApp as well.
On my WhatsApp,
Yes.
okay. On our group.
Going live.
Let's have a look. Going live. All right, 4 questions there. Okay, first question comes from Machalis. Listen here, Bobby. Hope all is good. I'm listening, brother. I'm looking for a nice cruiser that can be standard, but would appreciate modified. I'm looking for anything under about 1 million. Got any stock? Machalis, got your back, brother. I'll reach out in DM. Bobby, i20 Hyundai 2012 230k on the clock. What do you think they can go for? I can't answer that question until I have all the information, because only an amateur will shoot a price without having all the information. So unless I know what recon, what spec, service history, previous ownership, I never want to guess a price. I want to give you a price, which is a real price. So I'm sorry I can't off the cuff. Pretty boy Flacco. Do you have a branch in Durban? I'm a Charu. Soeking a sales graph. Uncle Bobby, see what can see for me. Pretty boy Flacco. Brother, you sound like a fun guy to hang out with, but you'll never work for me with this horrific spelling. What's wrong with you, mate? No, don't do that. Man like Ralph. Is the cadet program still on? How can I join the sales team as a seller? So the cadet program is not on at the moment. We should open it up March. Somewhere in March or April, we should open a new cadetship program.
Arnie Smith. Hi, Uncle Bobby. Would you be interested in buying a 2018 BMW X5 M Sport? But the car is in Namibia.
No, I already answered that question. Definitely not. Brosh 007, Uncle Bobby, the Vin Diesel of Pretoria. So I'm not Vin Diesel, I'm Vin Number. Don't get my name wrong. I'm not Vin Diesel, I'm Vin Number. So thanks, man. Appreciate you. Hans, love you guys so much. Thank you. Someone became the, okay, Maps 35 became the number 27 fan in the fan club. That's embarrassing, Maps. You should be number 1. Work harder, brother. But I appreciate you. Jokes aside. Fresh cut, thank you. I got it on Saturday. Saturday, boss. Man, the guy that cuts my hair always makes me laugh. Can Natives been, do I qualify? Sell about 8 cars? Yes, we handled that. What else is here? Brosh. He's laughing at me. Not Vin Diesel. Vin Number. Okay, is that it? Else, we done.
Looks like it, yeah.
No other questions? Maybe give you a minute if you've got a a high quality question, and then we'll move over and you guys can enjoy your night. Market for 94 Toyota MR2 SW20 JDM spec. Yes, those cars are very sought after. There's a big market. I think how you maximize the value of that car is just join all those groups. You guys have cults, man. The MR2 is a freaking, it's like a religion. So join all those groups and market the car there. You'll get a top number there. Completed the first stage of Club Quest. Your gift has been unlocked for all the fans to send and celebrate. Okay. Someone sent a heart me. Cool, man. Cool, brother. Yeah, join those groups. You'll get the top dollar there from someone that is actively seeking to buy one.
Maybe just say again, how can they join for Saturday? Before we close.
Damn it, I just got some bad news. No, it's okay. So how can you join on Saturday? If you're interested in the course that we unpacked over the last hour and 11 minutes, just shoot me a WhatsApp. My name is so-and-so. I run a dealership. I would like to join your course. I'll connect you with Elsie and she'll send you the link so that you guys can attend on the day. Thank you so much. I think that's it. I want to sell my fortune. Okay, Netsua. So if you want to sell a car or buy a vehicle from us, all you need to do is send me a couple of images of your vehicle with the license list so we can do some background checks on that on WhatsApp, what it is, and myself and the team will price it tomorrow morning. The pricing team is here at 8 o'clock sharp, so by 8:30 you'll have an offer. I stopped giving prices at night because they shout at me in the morning that I underpaid or overpaid, or so I won't price your car tonight unless it's an M3. I'll price it right now. Send the M3. Boy, I don't take counsel from nobody when it comes to an M3, but anything else, we'll price it accurately and we'll assist you. Thank you so much. And I'm looking for a Prado. Netsua will help you with the Prado. We sold a nice one on Friday. Shit. And the car stood like a week. Nobody wanted it. Then 6 people wanted it, and you also wanted Netsua, but you're late. But we'll get you a better one. No problem, brother.